Okay, well, hello everyone. Adam Butler here from Hawk Butler. I'm joined by Martyn Lax, our trusted partner from VZLA, who will tell us a bit more about that shortly. And this is really just to explain to our client base the unique difference that our executive search and specifically the testing that we can do within that, how that offers a differential and really helps to ensure you're getting the right people into your business that will come for the right reasons and stay for the long time, delivering a great return. So morning, Martyn, how are you doing?
I'm very well. You?
Yeah, excellent. Good. Thanks. Really good this morning.
Nice.
So yeah, just introduce yourself if you would mind. Tell us a bit about your background and where you've come from and where you're at.
Okay, so my background was recruitment, which I did for probably 25 years. I started in recruitment before the internet even existed, which is quite funny. You know, when I tell people, they can't believe that the internet didn't exist once. And but it was quite an interesting thing. So I started at the bottom, 150 phone calls a day, using a big directory. And I ended up working my way through this business. We floated on the stock market. I was the director of the sales recruitment arm, and it was like multiple locations type recruitment. I did that for a number of years, and then stuff happened as it, things progress, and so I decided to run my own business. I also ran my own recruitment business for 14 years. We specialized in technical sales and technical engineering type of roles. During that time, I've always had this real deep fascination for the mind and what makes people different, and why is it that this person achieves and this one doesn't? And even though they seem like physically the same and all those sorts of things. So I studied a thing called neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, but it wasn't the NLP that, look into my eyes, around my eyes, you're fixed type of thing. It was a leadership based stuff because I wanted to create because it's a communication model, really, NLP. I wanted to create this model within my business where everyone was trying to communicate at a more conscious and higher level. So I studied that, did master practitioner, and then I sold my bit of my recruitment company for various reasons, and then decided to go down a different route, which was going to be like this coaching type route. But after a while, I realized I'm not really a coach, and there's other people much better than that. I don't think I have the patience for coaching, really. So then I set up, well, my company used to be called, so VZLA is VZLA, like the dog. Okay, so I was walking in the hills of the Yorkshire Dales, and these VZLAs came up to me. They were lovely dogs, and it sort of stuck in my head for some reason. But we renamed from Assessment AI because people got scared of the AI stuff, because real AI doesn't really exist, but the algorithms are incredibly sophisticated, which is what we use. So so I changed the name. So now we're VZLA. So that's how we call it.
Love it. Great. Okay, fantastic. And so it's a testing platform specifically. Well, I'm sure there's lots of different uses for it, but that can be used quite specifically for identifying a match between, the person and the role and the person and the company. So just tell us from your point of view, Martyn, why that, how that works, why that's so important to find, of course, the right match, and what sort of results and evidence you've got around it from your experiences to date.
Yeah, well, as I say, so obviously I had a deep background in recruitment, and so often clients would hire people and then they wouldn't work out, or the person would be sort of different than they expected, and all this sort of stuff. So I got introduced to this tool. But basically, what it is, it's like a psychometric, right? So this is the weird thing for me, because when I have to explain things, I have to explain things in terms of what people know. So it's a bit like if I saw an alien, I'd have to say to you, yeah, it was a bit scaly, like a lizard, okay? And automatically in your head, you would visualize a lizard, okay? So best way I can do it is sort of like a psychometric, but it's not a personality assessment, okay? It's a behavioral assessment. So there's a difference. So personality is like who we are, and our behaviors are the things we like to do, okay? And so the whole premise of what we do is basically whatever role it is, and it could be anything from even a football striker, type of thing, because they tend to have certain behaviors, but anyway, it could be an airline pilot, salesperson, recruitment consultant, you name it. But basically what happens or the theory is that we have all these behaviors, and the behaviors, we have preferences for our behaviors. So what we can do is we can predict how likely a success an individual will be into a specific job role using behavioral data. So basically we create this formula, and it will give us a percentage of how likely a success and fit that person is going to be. Now, so the theory is based on quite deep psychological theories, okay, but we don't need to go too deep on it because you don't have to. And but one of those is called job enjoyment theory, and the bottom line is that if your current behaviors suit 75% plus of the tasks you do on a day-to-day basis, you're 3 times more likely to be successful. And of course, if you're successful, you enjoy it, because the worst thing you can do is employ people who don't suit the job, because it's like walking in treacle for them, it's awful. And so an enjoyment theory is quite a simple thing, really. And it's a bit like, if you enjoy doing something, you do it again. Because you do it again, you get better at it. Because you get better at it, people go, oh, you're really good. And of course we go, oh, that's a nice thing to say. So you do it again. So it's like this circle that continues. But equally, it's the opposite when you don't enjoy doing something. I don't enjoy it, therefore I won't do it often, therefore I won't get better, therefore I won't get praised. So that pisses me off even more, so I won't do it. So that's what it's about. So it's all about this job enjoyment theory and making sure that we're assessing, okay, because a test sort of indicates whether something's right or wrong, but people aren't right or wrong. What is right or wrong is whether or not we put them or they get into the right job. That's the right and wrong bit. But as a human being, it's like I'll have different behaviors than you, but it doesn't make you a better human being than me. We just have different behaviors that we've learned through the years, really.
Yeah. And yours are maybe suited to one particular thing and mine are suited to another.
Absolutely.
And it's about finding the match. And I know one of the things we've discussed as we've been talking and agreeing our strategy together is that often clients suffer I called it the dating syndrome, didn't I? Where you can easily fall for a pretty boy or a pretty girl, i.e. turning the analogy back, you can fall for someone that's very good at answering interview questions.
Yeah.
And then they arrive and you're like, well, they're not doing any of the things they said they were really good at interview. And that's typically down to behaviors.
Yeah, absolutely. We see it a lot.
Yes. So, I think that's really exciting for our clients, that when they engage with us with our search services, not only are we finding them a better pool of potential candidates, but we're able to now give them the assurance that, when you get to the end of that interview process and you're either 50-50 about a couple of candidates, the testing can say, well, this one's an 85% match and this one's a 73% match. Well, it just makes the decision-making process a little bit more straightforward, because you've got some evidence of what they're going to be like in the future from what they've been like in the past, rather than just gut instinct. Although I think we'd agree gut is valuable.
Gut's valuable, but it's not valuable just on its own. Certain things, when you have to be instinctual, like I don't know, a tiger's chasing after you, it's like, that's quite a good thing, because you just got to react, but luckily we don't often face those things anymore. Back in the days when when you had saber-toothed tigers, then you'd have to do that, but now it's much more objective, because as human beings we don't have those pressures, and it's having a balance of being able to use your instincts, your gut instincts, but balance it off with data, and it's with logic, and it's a balance of both sides of your brain. Otherwise, and we see, you've been in recruitment a long time, so have I, and clients, and I did it. I've hired hundreds of people to work for me over the years. I'm not coming from this guy who's like using this thing. I've hired hundreds of people, and I've got it wrong so many times, and I've got it right sometimes as well.
Yes.
But that's people, because people are very complicated.
Yes.
And this is all about making sure that companies bring on the right people, and that the business and the company can get the best out of it, or help that individual get the best out of themselves and really enjoy it.
Yes. So and it's a tool to stack the odds, isn't it? You know, if you could go to if you went to the casino and on the way in, someone said to you, I've got this technology that will allow you to predict the likelihood of these numbers coming up, or there's these are the particular, they put a different ball in which is magnetically forced towards this quadrant. Well, if you had evidence to prove that worked, you'd go in and the odds are stacked in your favor. We all know the odds are stacked in the casino's favor. That's why they do very well. But what this does is it removes the requirement for the gut instinct of, oh, I think number 14 is going to come in, to instead saying, I know that the probability, now that I've got this data, is that this candidate is going to perform very well in the task. Stacks the odds. And we all know, of course, as well, about the cost associated with getting a wrong hire, not just the recruitment costs or the salary costs, but actually the impact on the business of getting it wrong, impact on your clients, impact on your staff. So particularly for critical, senior, hard to fill specialist hires, very important to get it right and know that not only is your gut telling you, but the statistics are supporting it. So that's why I'm really excited about the fact that we're working together, and we can add that layer.
Equally, you know, it's really important from the ground up, because when people go and make a coffee in your kitchen, you want them all to be on board,
of course,
you know, and it could be anyone at all, you know. And you know, what we find is our clients who use it, they use it for every single person they hire, regardless of level. You know, this is from an office junior all the way up to MD or CEO or whatever, because then they know what they know what they're hiring. Otherwise, you know, because people are really important and really expensive, even a lower level salary person, you know, they reckon it costs, you know, sort of 2.5 to 3 times someone's salary to replace them. And it's so expensive. But yeah, but it's lovely because you know how to deal with people. You know, it's like a really interesting thing about people, or certain people, right? This isn't everyone, certain people. Some people have this really high value, okay? And their value is based around opinions, right? Okay. So for example, some people really value their opinions being valued. So if I was working for you and you just told me what you were going to do and said, right, get on with it, Martyn, because the way I am, I'd probably leave your company, because I need you to ask me what I think. Now, I don't need you to act on my opinion. I just need you to say, so what do you think? And that simple little thing creates so many people leaving businesses just on that one thing. Everyone's different. That's just one example. So it can be at any level.
Yes, yeah, of course, and I get that.
But I get it from your perspective.
Yeah, I only mention that really from our perspective because we tend to do more hiring at the senior roles. But if anyone's interested in integrating it across their organisation, they can still get access to you and your business either through us or direct. We're cool about that either way.
Absolutely.
One other little piece I wanted to add on to this, and I think it's very relevant and current and very important in my eyes, and I know it's the same with a lot of our clients, is that it does help with you know, diversity and inclusion, because the process cannot be biased by the applicant or the form filler. And that's such an important thing across businesses of all size now. So it kind of anonymizes that and predicts the best match regardless of background, culture, origin, orientation. So again, I'm really excited about getting that out in front of our clients. And I think the last little piece really is in terms of when it fits into the recruitment process. I know we touched on that before, but from your perspective, you know, where would you say it fits well into the recruitment process?
Well, clients are different. Okay, so typically a client might have interviewed some people, and they get to a shortlist, and they want to do it at that shortlist stage. We've got other clients who will get a shortlist or get some CVs, and they'll just have a very short conversation with the person just to make sure they're interested. And then they do the assessment, and then based on the assessment is whether or not they interview them. You know, so So people operate in different ways, you know. So it's wherever you fit it in. The most effective way to do it, really, if you want to save loads of time and loads of money, the most effective way to do it is almost like do it pre-interview.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you know what it's like. And crikey, you spend hours interviewing people and they're not right. Well, the thing about this is you're always interviewing people who are very potentially right. Because the reports, these reports and the way the system works, it's not like a gimmick. It's not a toy. This is an independently verified tool. The white papers on it are huge and numerous. It's incredibly sophisticated. But yeah. So
yes,
that answers your question.
Yeah, it answers it really well. And actually, the nature of how this will fit into our specific search or managed service solutions for our customers means that we can put it in at the right point, and there's a conversation to be had there. Well, look, I think that's all we need for today, Martyn. Maybe we'll pick this up and do another little session at some point, just adding a bit more detail on. From our point of view, people can find out more through getting in touch with myself or looking Martyn up if you want to chat independently at VZLA. I can send out any information that's required, but it's going to be a key part of our executive search and managed service solutions moving forward, and I'm super excited about working closely with you, Martyn. So thanks for your time.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you. Nice one.
Cheers.
See you soon.